In today's video, we are going to discuss a game played between Alexei Shorov and Alireza Firoza in Grand Swiss chess.com Grand Swiss 2021, which has just completed in this November. And Alireza Firoza has won this tournament, and he has finalized his spot in the 2022 candidates. In this game, as Alexei Shirov is a very aggressive player, so he opted for Caro-Kann Tal variation. We will look at it, that what is Caro-Kann Tal variation. Shirov played e4, Alireza played c6, the start of Caro-Kann, d4, d5, and e5. It is known as the advanced variation of Caro-Kann when this pawn is moved over here. The other replies are knight to c3, knight to d2. These are the other replies. Even when a sideline is bishop to d3, that is a sideline actually. Or this pawn can take over on d5, and that would be called as the exchange Caro-Kann. So bishop f5 was played and h4, and this is the start of the Tal variation. In past, black responses with the move h6, but the problem he faced was that his development was compromised over this move. So nowadays the main reply is h5, but the issue with the h5 move is that white gets kind of full control of this square on g5 by moving this knight to h3 and playing this bishop to g5. So nowadays h5 is common, but this square g5 in the black strategy gets very weak. Bishop d3. It is the rule of roundabout all of the variations of Caro-Kann that you are going to exchange this light square bishop, and this is the main defender of this king side. So to create an attack, you are going to exchange this bishop. Bishop into d3, queen into d3. Now here, in past, different moves have been applied. e6 has been played, queen d7 has been played, queen to c7 has been played, but nowadays the move which is most common is queen a5 check. The reason behind this move is that if the white stops this check with the bishop, then this queen goes back and challenges this queen on d3, and if knight comes over here on d2, then it's easy for black. He can move anytime to a6 to challenge this queen on d3, and in that time period he can go for the development of his pieces. This is the reason behind the playing this move queen a5 check first. So knight d2 was played. If here bishop b2 is played, then the sequence of move will be like this. As I said, queen a6 challenging this queen immediately. And now there are different combinations for white. The main one is playing the move e6. As white says that, okay, you are going to exchange my queen over here on d3 and my pawns would be doubled, then I am going to mess up your complete king side by playing this move e6, because after you take it, then this bishop would be take time to get developed. So e6, the main move in this line, queen into d3, c into d3, f into e6, knight f3. Now white is going for immediate development. At this pawn this extra pawn of black is going to fall. So knight d7, castle, and knight h6, maneuvering this knight over here to f5. As this square, white can't push this pawn g4, that it would be taken, and so white cannot in any cases can challenge this knight on f5 in the opening, and this knight will be a very firm piece in the opening of black, in the opening sequence of black. So rook e1, knight f5, rook into e6, and now the king is going to move to f2 here, sorry, f7 over here. He is not going to castle over here. He is going to develop the king with threat. King f7, rook e2, bringing over here. The reason behind is that when the knight is going to move over here on c3, are a3 and c2 protecting this pawn twice on d4, then this rook is going to be doubled on e5 and g6. This might be the sequence of the moves if this bishop on to d2 is being played, but in the game knight d2 was played. After that e6 was played in the game, and these are all the standard continuations. Here knight f3 is the main move. There are different continuations, but I will make a separate video on it for this Tal variation to let you people understand the complete concepts and reasons behind the Caro-Kann defense, Caro-Kann Tal advanced variation, Tal variation concepts. So knight h6 was played. Here there are different moves have been tried. That is immediately moving the move queen to a6, queen a6. The second one is the main move which was played in the game, knight h6, and the third one is knight to e7. From here developing the knight to f5, and the fourth move has been tried, knight d7 over here. When you are going to move knight d7, then you are going to push this pawn to c5, challenging this pawn on d4 over here. So knight h6 and castle. Here castle is the main move. The reason behind is that you are going to immediately get off the pin, out of the pin of this queen, and going to castle, and then you are going to move this knight to b3, threatening this queen on e5. This queen would be moved, and this bishop will be developed, and this rook will be developed. So immediately castle, knight f5 is played. Here there are different moves at this position. This is the ninth move of the game. Here the main move in this position is the move c4, as it is white's turn, c4, immediately challenging this center. As black has castled, white has castled, so it's time for the attack to open up something for the pieces, for white's pieces. And the reason behind to play this move c4 is that then this queen a6 move does not count, because white is going to play then this move b3 and then develop this bishop over here on bishop b2. This is the idea behind playing the move c4. The second idea which was played in the game was knight b3, threatening this queen, and queen will have to move to queen a6. Now when this knight will be out of the way, then this queen could be moved to back to queen d1. And the third move, which is the move option over here, as is c3, strengthening this pawn chain. And if black tries to exchange this queen over here, then this queen could be moved, tucked away over on c7. And in future, when black plays the move c5, then this pawn will be protected by the move c3 over here. it would be like a French type of structure, but in French, the light square bishop is tucked away. It's struck between his pawns on e3 and d5, or sorry, on e6 and d5. But in this scenario, there is no light square bishop. So knight b3, the second most common move, and queen a6, challenging this queen, but now this queen could be moved back to queen d1 and bishop e7. The reason behind playing this bishop to e7 move first is that if you play the move knight d7 over here, then this bishop to g5 stops you from castling on the queen side, as this diagonal will be controlled by the bishop on g5. So in order to play the move to castle queen side, black played the move bishop e7 over here first. For example, knight d7, which I told you, and now the move bishop g5, and now black can't castle over here. If you want to still castle, then he would have to weaken this king side over here, and it is not appropriate at present to weaken his king side because his three pieces are undeveloped. So after bishop e7, bishop g5 is still played, because when this bishop takes, then this knight is coming to g5, and that knight, it is a very powerful piece now. So bishop into g5 and knight c5 first, the intermediate move, challenging this queen over here. Now if queen moves to whether to b5 or whether to b6, this pawn could not be attacked. The reason behind is that when white will play the move rook b8 and queen will move to, for example, a3, then this rook will take over this pawn on b7, and he will control the whole 7th rank of black. So before taking this bishop over here on g5, this was the intermediate move played by Alexei Sharov. After queen b6, knight g5 and knight a6 was played. The reason behind is that I told you that if queen into b8, then rook b8, and queen if takes this pawn, then rook is going to take this pawn on b7. He will control all the 7th rank of black. So black developed his knight to a6 first. Knight into a6, queen into a6. There was no reason to destroy the black wants to destroy his pawn structure, so he takes with the queen. Queen into a6. Now c3 was played to strengthen this pawn chain. Knight into h4 was played. Black gives away this h4 pawn, and the reason behind was that Alexei Sharov had a plan in his mind. The plan was that he is going to play this move g6, and when this knight will move to f5, and then he is going to play this move king g2 and bring his rook over here, rook h1, and hit this pawn on h5 by twice. And if white tries to strengthen this pawn by playing the move g6 over here, for example, this rook over here, this is double attacked, black want to strengthen it, then he can hit it then he can hit open it by playing the move g4. That was the plan in Alexei Sharov's mind. So he played go with his plan, and that was g3, knight f5, and king g2. He is going with his plan that he is going to hit this pawn with the rook on h1, and this queen will also be hitting this pawn on h5. And when black tries to stop it by playing the move g6, then he's going to play the move g4 with threat on knight. Queen b6 was played, the counter attacking on the queen side. Black is trying to counter attack on the queen side now, and b4 was played. The reason why playing with this move b4 is that when I am going to attack over here, I don't want any type of problems on this queen side. Queen d8 was played, bringing the queen to king side. As Alexei Shirov understood the idea that Alireza Firoza understood the idea that what is the plan in Alexei Shirov's mind. So he brought immediately his queen back to over here. He's going to bring his queen over here. After queen d2, now protecting this knight over here, and queen e7, protecting this king side now. Rook a b1. Now Alexei Shirov is saying that if you are not going to let me attack on the king side, this king side, then I am going to play on the queen side. Rook h6 was played. The reason behind playing this rook e6 was that whether he could play the move f6 also, and he can, after castle, can bring his rook over here on h8. This was the idea behind the move h6. Rook h1, long castle, and b5, immediately hitting this side, because this pawn is protected twice, and just white is giving a threat only at present, as black has castled this side, and he's going to take advantage of this rook and his queen over here to attack this king side. C into b5 was played. The problem is that if black allows, for example, he plays the move like anything, for example, he plays the move g6 over here, then when white would take this pawn on c6, and after b into c6, then this rook b3 is going to be played, and this rook is coming over here on b1, and this queen is coming over here on b2, and white will lose at least a piece over here, even if he might get into checkmate. So because of that reason, he played the move c into b5 himself. After rook into b5, h4 was played. Alireza Firoza said that you are attacking on the queen side, I am going to attack on the king side. Instead of here, it was better to play the move rook d7. Rook d7, protecting this pawn over here. There is nothing that could happen immediately. Even white brings his rook to b1 or to c1 after playing the move c4. So h4 was played in the game, and g4 was played, attacking this knight over here on f5. White does not want to open this king side immediately, so h3 was played. Black is stressing that I want to open this king side, your king side, and keep king f1 was played. Here rook into h3 was a good try. After rook into h3 and knight into h3 and knight h4 check, and now king f1 and rook h8. Although this seems very annoying for white, but white can easily defend it by playing the move like queen d3, knight g6, and now rook b3. The reason behind is that he's going to play the move now c4. This was a better try for white over here, instead of playing the move king f1 by Alexei Shirov. Now here black was better. After that, rook g6 was played, hitting this knight over here on g5. G into f5 was played, and rook into g5, and f into e6 was played. f into e6, and now rook into h3. And after that move, the reason behind was h6 to over g6 and taking this knight was that black wants to double these rooks on this f5, and that's queen over here, counter attacking the white as white was attacking on the queen side. This was the plan in the Alireza Firoza's mind. So rook f5, c4 was played immediately. As there is no immediate threat to this f2 pawn over here, d into c4 was played and queen c3 was played. After rook d f8, doubling these rooks on this f2, queen into c4, first giving the check to this queen. After queen b8, then rook b2, bringing this rook back over here, protecting this pawn. And now the plan, the reason behind to bring this rook over here to protect this pawn on f2 was that Alexander wanted to play the move rook h3 to b3, double attacking this pawn on b7. And white's queen may also enter in the fight. So queen f7, still stressing that I am going to take this pawn. And queen e2. Now it has become evident for white to protect this pawn as this is hit to thrice. Queen c7 was played. Now as this white's queen has weakened this square c4, then that's why black moves the immediate his queen to c7. Now he is controlling this c file, and there is an immediate threat that after this check and this queen in e1, protecting white from the check, then this rook into f2 is a dangerous threat. So queen c2, white has must exchange these queens now over here, and queen d7 was played, and that was the mistake by black over here, as he had an advantage in this position. Instead of playing the move queen d7, it was better for black to play the move rook into f2 check, queen into f2, rook into queen c4 check, king g2, rook into f2 check, rook into f2, queen into d4. And this position is actually a double-edged position. White has just two pawns over here. Black has three pawns, but these two rooks are coordinated. And in the long run, you could not say that who might prevail. I think this would be a draw. So after queen d7 was played in the game, rook hb3 was played. White said that, okay, if you are going to give me the check over here, I'm going to take it with the queen. After rook takes, I'm going to take it with the king. Instead of here, it was better to play the move queen c5 instead by white. Then rook c8. This was the better continuation, but after rook hb3, b6 was played. Now saying that, okay, you are not going to give me the check on b7. The second was rook into f2 check again, but it does not leads to anything, as rook into f2, rook into f2 check, rook into f2, a6, immediately playing the a6 because this check is coming. I don't see anything over here for white or black, because in the long run it might be a draw. It is a very tough position. So after b6, queen c5 was played. The reason playing this queen c5 is that this king is in the way of these two rooks, and this pawn can't take this queen over here. Queen b7 was played. Now this queen can be taken. Rook into b6. And this is a tactical throw. After that, this position has become completely equal. The reason behind is that black is going to give the check on this pawn. This rook can't take it because this pawn will take this rook by threatening this queen over here. After this rook takes, the game would be over for white. So this happened in the game. Rook into f2 check, king e1. Now here, let's see what happens if rook into f2. Rook into f2 check, king into h2, sorry, f2, queen into b6, queen f8 check, king b7, queen into g7, check, king c6, king e3. Black has two pawns, but this pawn is stopping these two pawns. And white's king is open, and black's queen can give him check anywhere, wherever he wants. And he can, white's queen can control this square easily, this d5 square. So there is nothing in this game. Even this next continuation, which will came in the game, rook into f2, does not generate anything. So after that, the game immediately drawn, as after rook f1 check, king e2, rook f2 check. This king can't move over here. The reason behind is that I will just show you that what happens if king moves over to d3. Now rook 8 f3 check. These two ranks are being controlled by the king, and king has to move to c4, and now a into b6. Reason behind is that now this queen is threatened and this rook is threatened. You can't save both over here. So the reason behind is that to make a draw over here, I have shown you can't move to d3 because of this rook check on f3. So it was a very hard fought draw. I think you liked my video. If you liked my video, kindly subscribe, hit the bell icon button. Thank you, and thank you.